Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and this week we're talking about van internet, and typically off-grid internet for our van. Because if you've been following our journey, we'll be heading off-grid and living in this van full-time very soon. Now currently we're using a Netgear Nighthawk router, and we've tried 2 or 3 different SIM cards in it. We had varying results. We've got an antenna on the roof, sometimes we've got really good internet, sometimes we've got really poor internet, sometimes we've got no internet. Now for Zach with his gaming laptop, he loves gaming. I've got a gaming laptop as well. I do a little bit but not a lot for uploading and stuff. It's just not cutting it, so we've decided to upgrade, and this week we've purchased the Starlink from SpaceX.
A few moments later.
As a reminder, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation designed and manufactured by SpaceX to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people living all around the world, as well as remote and rural locations.
So I'm not going to bore you guys with the unboxing of this Starlink satellite. It's already set up in the house. I am going to bring it out in a minute and set it up in the van. So the launch you've just watched actually took up another 56 satellites, and currently they're aiming, SpaceX, to get 42,000 up there eventually. I think at the minute there's up to 6,000 up there at the minute, so they're wanting to put a lot more up there. For anybody who's interested, these little satellites, they're about 342 miles above the Earth, orbiting around constantly. And the lifespan of these little satellites is approximately 5 years. So obviously we're going to have to keep sending more and more up eventually. And also, the first 60 of these little satellites went up in May 2019, so it's relatively new still. Now there is, I think there is a couple more internet providers from up there, but not readily available like Starlink. I think there's going to be a bit more competition soon. I think Amazon are coming on board, and another one called One something, I can't really remember the name of it. But currently, this equipment is on offer as well. We bought it a week ago. It was £460. It's on offer at £300 a minute in the UK, but not for very long. We have actually got the RV edition, so we can take it out in the van with us out and about. Now that is £95 a month at the minute. But if you're wanting this for your home, it's only £75. I believe it's £75 a month to have it at your home address. So the equipment is on offer. I'm not sure how long it's going to be on offer for, but you're saving £160. I'm a bit gutted actually buying this a week ago, but that's the way it goes. Right, so I'm going to bring it out to the van now, and firstly we're going to look at how long it takes to boot up and get an internet signal. And then we're going to run a few speed tests, and then we're going to set some gaming setups up and see how it copes. So this is the router you get in the box. Now this router just does Wi-Fi. If you want to use Ethernet cables, you have to buy an Ethernet adapter. Now it is a very nice looking sleek piece of equipment. It's a shame these don't light up on the front. The only way you know this is on is by a very tiny light under there. Now it's not plugged in at the minute. I'm going to use the Bluetti to power it, so we can see what sort of power it uses and how long roughly it will take for the dish to become active. So powering this on now. And you can, I don't know if you can see that, the faint light under there, that's how you know it's powered on. And we're currently pulling about 20 watts, but I have been into the app and switched off the heating function, because the heating function was set to automatic, which basically the dish itself, if it's got snow on there, it will melt the snow off so it doesn't interrupt your signal. But yeah, it's pulling about 22 watts at the minute. So the power has been jumping up and down actually. We're up to about 45 watts now. I presume it spiked up to about 60-70. That'll be where the dish has been moving around to find the satellites. Right, so we have had it in the house and powered it off and then brought it back out here, and it's took about 4 minutes to get back online. Now when we first powered it up this morning, it would probably took about 8 minutes. So I would think 10 minutes probably maximum from when it's just been stood. I presume it's booted up quicker because we've already had it on, even though I've moved the dish. We're going to do a first test on it now and see what sort of speeds we're getting. Obviously it varies as the satellites move across. At the minute we're getting around 200 megabits per second on the download, ping of 43, and we're getting about 18 megabits per second, 19 megabits per second on the upload. But obviously this will vary quite a bit. from as the satellites move, because they're moving really fast. I think they're doing something like 26,000 kilometers an hour. So as they go over, this will pick up one, as it'll pick up another one. Like I say, the more satellites there is up there, the better, because we have noticed a little bit, sometimes there's a little bit of a gap in the internet. It like freezes and you think, what's going off here? And the speeds seem to vary quite a little bit. Right guys, so we've got the laptop set up. So first I want to make sure we're connected to the Star network, well the Starlink network. I've actually named it Star. And then we're going to load the game up. So we're just going to run another quick speed test just to see how we're getting on. I'm seeing speeds of about 150, 140. So we're straight into an online game. And let's give this a bit of a test out.
Location updated. Hostile UAV in the area. Friendly war strike on the way. Hard point.
Actually, the ping's dropped down to about 35 now, but the ping has been varying throughout that match. But he's played pretty stable for me. So we'll just do another quick speed test while we're on. In speeds of around 140 megabits per second, peaking up to about 150, 140-ish. Pretty happy with that. Now I'm pretty impressed with the speeds we've been seeing on this Starlink internet. We've been getting roughly around 200, we've seen it as high as 250, as low as 80 as I've said. It seems pretty stable. Now we have noticed the signal sometimes drops a little bit. I think as they're launching more satellites every month, the signal will just get better and better. Now currently ours is on the dish what moves about. Now there is other YouTube videos out there that shows you how to cut the bottom of the dish out and you can mount it flat on the roof. Now the whole idea of it aiming was when there was less satellites about. Now the more satellites there is, the less likelihood you need to aim the dish. So there is modifications out there to modify it to mount it flat on the roof, because when we're off grid we'll literally have to put it outside on the tripod, and if we go out for the day or go to bed we'll have to bring it back in so nobody steals it. So that is a bit of a downside of it at the minute. I might modify it into the flat mount, where basically all you do is you cut the motor mount off the bottom of the tripod, and then you sit it in a 3D mounted, a printed mould, and then you can mould it up, sit it up on the roof, then you never have to take it off. Now they do a dedicated RV dish, but they're quite expensive. In fact they're a lot of money. So there's people out there converting these, and they're also converting the router to DC 12 volts rather than using 240 volts. But we've been seeing varied results on the power, anywhere between 35 watts and 60 watts it seems to be pulling. It seems to vary up and down. So power usage, people say they use a lot of power. I don't think 60 watts is a lot of power personally. Obviously we'll have to power manage, but in this van we've got quite a bit of power, so we should be fine in that regards. So we're quite happy with it. If you keep watching any of our next videos that we make, we'll keep posting little updates about the Starlink and how well it's doing for us in remote locations. We're not away this weekend, but hopefully next weekend we'll be out somewhere remote and we can give it a proper test. Anyway, that's it for this week's video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.